in the last 14 years. So what that means is that Mark Abley is a freelancer for the Gazette, but he's nonetheless, the Gazette's word columnist, and I'm noticing he's actually been quite coy about whether or not he wielded his influence. Just because he's not an actual employee doesn't mean he doesn't have some influence within the Gazette. It doesn't mean he can't, get the ear of the editor and say, hey, please don't report this kind of thing. So he's being awfully coy about that.
I'm not interested, Robin.
I know you're not interested. It's called willful ignorance. It's also called...
I don't care what you call it, I'm not interested.
I know you're not interested in the fact that Unitarian Universalists misuse blasphemy law to cover up and deny pedophilia and rape.
Please don't gloss me on this.
I'm protesting, and I'm at least 10 feet away. I'm 10 feet away from you. So,
since I was 13.
13, I think there's been some young girls raped by Unitarian Universalist ministers at around that age, or at least sexually molested, and you're not interested. You don't want to know. No, you'd rather just wallow in willful ignorance and psychological denial, just like everyone else at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. So that is a member of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, a long-time member of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, and she just told me she's not interested. The picket signs that she was looking at say unsafe sect. The other one says, you liars, bear false witness against me. That's the one that was facing towards her. And that's, got to do with the false blasphemous libel accusation, but it's also got to do with a whole bunch of other bearing of false witness that Unitarian Universalists have engaged in against me, and she's not interested. She's not in the least bit interested in the fact that Unitarian Universalism has a bit of a clergy sexual misconduct problem, which includes such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the Unitarian Universalist Association and various Unitarian Universalist churches go to immoral and unethical and borderline criminal, even actually criminal lengths to cover up and deny clergy sexual misconduct of all kinds and clergy sexual abuse of children in particular. In fact, in 2014, while delivering his first moderator's report to the Unitarian Universalist Association, UUA moderator Jim Key inserted into the middle of his moderator's report what was billed as being a second UUA apology to victims of clergy sexual misconduct. And in the middle of this utterly worthless so-called apology, Jim Key said the following words: "There were no incidents of abuse of children or elders in my investigations." That's an exact quote from UUA moderator Jim Key's worthless apology to victims of clergy sexual misconduct. So what's he saying? He's saying that he personally investigated clergy sexual misconduct, and in his own personal investigations of Unitarian Universalist clergy sexual misconduct, he found no evidence of any abuse of children by Unitarian Universalist ministers. Well, this is an outright lie, because I personally told Jim Key prior to his apology, or so-called apology, about cases where children were raped by a Unitarian Universalist minister, and other cases where children, including preteen children, were sexually abused by Unitarian Universalist ministers who were charged, tried, and convicted of sexual abuse of children. At least 3 cases where Unitarian Universalist ministers were charged, tried, and convicted of the sexual abuse of children. That's a minimum. And these are cases that are publicly known about. I also cannot imagine that no one else told UUA moderator Jim Key about sexual abuse of children by Unitarian Universalist ministers. It's not impossible. I suppose it's possible that the other people...
Had a good breakfast.
Actually, I ate the Unitarian Universalist Association Stikeman Elliott Lawyer for breakfast. I quite enjoyed it. It was a wonderful breakfast. I love eating lawyers for breakfast. So I couldn't resist that one. This guy says, I hope you had a nice breakfast. Again, this is, typical diversionary tactic of Unitarian Universalists. Basically, avoiding the issues that I'm protesting against. I got a bunch of joggers here. Might as well show them.
All the religions are guilty.
You're right. So more people should be protesting like me. There should be more people outside of more churches with more picket signs protesting against clergy sexual abuse in other religions and cover up and denial of clergy sexual abuse in other religions. It's not my fault that, I can only be in front of one church. I could go in front of other churches, but, I have reasons to be in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal specifically. Roman Catholics can protest in front of Roman Catholic churches, and people belonging to other faith communities can protest in front of their buildings. Buddhists can protest in front of Buddhist religious institutions where there is sexual misconduct. There's basically a reasonable amount of clergy sexual misconduct or Zen master clergy sexual misconduct, whatever you want to call it, in the Buddhist community. So I think, maybe some Buddhists should get out there with picket signs, So this woman's absolutely right that other religions have, clergy sexual misconduct problems and cover up and deny clergy sexual misconduct. But she was doing it in a way that was dismissive of my protest, as though I shouldn't be protesting. Well, my response is, no, the exact opposite. What should be happening is other people from other religious communities should be protesting against the clergy sexual abuse within their religious communities and the cover-up and denial of sexual abuse within their communities by their religious leaders. I am concentrating on the Unitarian Universalists because I believe that the sexual abuse problem of the Unitarian Universalist religious community and the cover-up and denial of clergy sexual abuse in the Unitarian Universalist community is underreported. And I'm trying to make it more publicly known. So I have specific reasons to concentrate on the Unitarian Church of Montreal and the larger Unitarian Universalist religious community. I certainly invite Roman Catholics to protest against Roman Catholic clergy sexual misconduct. I invite Anglicans to protest against I invite Anglicans to protest against Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse and cover up and denial if they want, but I think they might want to concentrate on their own religious community. But yeah, if some Anglicans want to come here and protest with me, they're welcome to do so. The Roman Catholics can come and protest with me if they want. So anyhow, we'll continue to circulate here, and we shall make sure that the public sees the signs, as it were. So we got 3 chalk slogans down, all of them saying Unitarians cover up clergy abuse. Basically 4 or 5 words, depending on how you want to count them, keeping it shortened to the point and easy to read. And clergy abuse, from my perspective, includes not just clergy sexual abuse, but also non-sexual forms of clergy abuse. So it's a nice general term that covers a lot of territory. So, okay, so we got some more people showing up here. And I got a feeling my tape, as it were, is about to run out if it hasn't already. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we just got about 1.5 minutes of recording time left. So we're going to wrap this up soon. We'll let it run out, but I just want to be on the alert to start the video running again as soon as possible. So we got some people on the bus looking at the signs. 1, 2, 3 people on the bus having a good look at the signs. So, yeah, even got a smile, I think. So, I think someone got a smile when I flipped the sign around and showed them the other side of the sign, because my signs have slogans on both sides. So anyhow, yeah, I think we're done here probably in terms of time. Let's see. Yeah, we're just got about 40-50 seconds left at most, so just keeping an eye on the video recording time. I think since there's people coming, I'm going to shut it off now and start a new reel.